10 days lost in nature and I didn't want to come back. It started as a simple escape. No grand plan, no map marked in red, just a gut feeling that I needed to get away. Not from people, not even from the noise of the city, but from the feeling that life was moving too fast, and I was barely holding on. You don't realize how loud the world is until you're alone with the trees. I followed a trail carved not by humans but by animals. I didn't know where I was going, and for the first time, I didn't care. Not that I had a map, but I had a mental sense of direction, and I realized I'd lost it. I climbed a ridge hoping for a better view, and when I reached the top, the forest stretched endlessly in every direction. No roads, no cabins. No markers. Just green. Waves and waves of trees. The animals didn't scatter like before. I wasn't a visitor anymore. My hair had curled from the rain, my skin was rough from the sun, my beard had thickened. I followed a hawk for over an hour, just to see where it landed. I sat in the same spot for so long, a squirrel walked right past my foot. I didn't even flinch. That night, I made a fire not for safety, but just to watch it dance. I told it everything I had been thinking, and for a second, I swore the flames listened, but the change was deeper. My eyes were quiet. Still, I smiled without effort. It led toward where I'd come from, toward the noise, the world, the signal. I stood there for a long time. The wind moved through them like it was waving goodbye. Or maybe it was asking me to stay. I don't know, but I whispered thank you before I left. The forest behind me, the world ahead. My backpack was lighter. My body was stronger. My mind was quiet. I knew then the forest had taken something from me. The noise, the rush, the ache to prove myself. To people who weren't even watching. I felt like I had just ended something sacred. I wanted to run back, to melt into the green, to never speak again. But I knew what I had to do. I had to tell this story. It stripped all of it away and gave me something better. That ache. That itch to escape. The question you ask yourself in traffic, in meetings, on screens, is this really it? I was just another creature. I stopped using my flashlight. I let the moonlight guide me. I tracked deer footprints just to see where they went, not to catch them, just to learn. I slept under open skies. I felt the wind carry stories I couldn't translate. I knew this was something people in cities would never feel. I was no longer surviving. I was living. That night, I heard something in the dark, snapping twigs, low grunts, maybe a bear, maybe not. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just listened. Whatever it was passed me by. But my heartbeat didn't slow for hours. I found a hollow tree, and inside it, a family of mushrooms glowed faintly in the shadow. I stopped thinking like a person who came into the forest. I started thinking like someone who belonged to it. I moved with the sun. I sat beneath it, letting the water fall on my shoulders. And I cried, not from fear, not from pain, but from this overwhelming feeling that I was finally, fully, a part of something I didn't have to explain. I wrote in my notebook that night, maybe we were never meant to live inside walls. I drank from clean running water. I washed myself with moss. I sat in the middle of a clearing and watched ants carry leaves bigger than their bodies. I felt something shift inside me, like I was waking up from a dream I didn't even know I was trapped in. I hadn't spoken a word in 5 days. I didn't need to. I dipped my feet into the stream, let the cold rush over my skin, and sat there for hours. I didn't think about work. I didn't think about deadlines or texts I hadn't replied to. I just watched the water move around rocks like it had for thousands of years, as if time had no interest in me at all. The hum of insects, the wind brushing past leaves, the distant cracking of a branch, at first, it made me nervous. My food was running low, but I wasn't worried. I started foraging not because I had to yet, but because I wanted to feel what it meant to find food with my own hands. I found wild berries, cautiously avoided the ones I couldn't name, and discovered a patch of edible roots. I remembered something my grandfather told me as a kid: the earth knows how to feed those who respect it. I ate slowly, and each bite tasted like something real. Not processed, not preserved, just alive. My senses were sharp, alert, scanning for threats that didn't come. I found a spot near a slow-moving creek and set up camp. That night, I laid in my tent and stared at the fabric above my head, feeling the weight of silence press against my ears. But it wasn't loneliness. It was something different. It felt like nature was watching me, measuring my presence, waiting to see if I was worth keeping. I packed light: just a backpack, a sleeping bag, a small tent, a few energy bars, water, a knife, and an old notebook I hadn't touched in years. I told one friend where I was headed, not a location, just a direction: north. I left my phone behind on purpose. That little decision would change everything. Day 1 was quiet, almost too quiet. On day 2, the forest opened itself up a little more. By day 3, I was deeper in. The trees grew taller, thicker. The sun only reached me in golden shafts. Day 4 was the first time I got scared. I took a wrong turn. Day 5 was surrender. I gave up, trying to control the path. On day 6, I found the waterfall. It wasn't loud, it was gentle, like a secret being whispered through stone. Day 7, I noticed the birds no longer flew away when I passed. Day 8 was the day I saw myself in a pool of water and I didn't recognize my face. By day 9, I had forgotten what day it was. I only knew light and dark, hunger and fullness, warm and cold. Day 10, I found the old hiking trail again. A faint path I hadn't noticed before. I took one step forward, then stopped, turned around, looked at the trees. When I returned to town, I didn't feel triumphant. Because if you're watching this, you've probably felt it too. Let me tell you what I learned after 10 days lost in nature. No, this isn't it. There's something more. And it's waiting for you, where the roads end and the silence begins.